Ja, gut. So, meine Damen und Herren, meine Freaks and Geeks, meine Queers und Straights, jetzt geht's schon weiter. Der ist nicht nur ein Schauspieler, sondern auch ein Synchronsprecher. Der ist, ja, ich würde sagen, in viele Videogame-Serien dabei, so wie Elder Scrolls, Final Fantasy, Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty. Richtig beeindruckende Liste, aber wahrscheinlich am bekanntesten als Deucalion. Habe ich das richtig gesagt? Did I say it right? Deucalion. Von Teen Wolf. Meine Damen und Herren, Mr. Gideon Emery. Team G Captain. Captain Team G of... Team G, we made it out of the first round.
Axe throwing was terrible.
Hello. How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good, thank you.
Good. We can have some water.
Could have been a teleprompter.
I know, it would have been nice.
Oh, that's for the... Okay, wait.
Ma chérie, amant, love is a summer's day.
We're doing that later. There's karaoke later.
There is karaoke, that's right.
So maybe we'll get a full version later. So axe
Thank
throwing.
you both of you for coming.
Axe throwing didn't go as planned, but I think we did well.
There was no plan.
Because there was no plan.
It was perfect.
It was brilliant. Where am I? Oh, you know what I love? That you were the voice of Krampus.
So Krampus I did like creature sounds.
It doesn't matter. It's still cool.
Creature Krampusing sounds. Yeah, once in a while I do creature voices. So yeah, that's always a fun thing. I'm just like you're looking at like Krampus going over roofs and stuff like.
Did you know the story of Krampus before you did that or not?
I did not.
And do you love the story of Krampus now?
Love
because
it.
it's the best.
It's the best,
right?
Of course.
Who has Krampus visit their house? You? Okay. Knecht Ruprecht? A couple more. So like the not so hardcore areas of Germany in the Alpine region, instead of Krampus, it's Knecht Ruprecht, who is like, instead of a demon, he's just kind of like a guy. But like a dirty, like, I don't know if he's like a pedo or what, but he's a dirty, like chimney sweep, not the best kind of guy. Maybe homeless, I'm not sure, but also somebody you don't want to hang out with.
So maybe houses that don't have chimneys.
Correct.
Is the way forward.
That would be, yeah. But then he just cross.
All the new builds have no chimneys.
So that's safe. What is, because I always like to talk about differences, differences and similarities between stage and screen and voice, yeah. What would you say?
So yeah, that's a good question. And
would you like water?
I hear a few times. No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay.
Do you think I should have some? I mean, not now.
No, I'm just saying that because there's one there.
I'm just being stupid. What's nice about voiceover, obviously, is you don't get cast based on how you look. So I get to play, good characters and heroes and a wider range of characters than I'm brought in for on camera. Because on camera, mainly I get cast as villains, especially working in Los Angeles, where it's still very kind of looks driven. So if you have a bit of character in the face, like I do, and also if you have a foreign accent, I mean, I still, work in an American accent half of the time, but then immediately they're like, oh, okay, he could be a bad guy, So yes, I would like to, you didn't ask me what I would like to do,
but go ahead.
But just sort of to segue, it'd be nice to do something comedic, on
That's
camera.
what Carrie said earlier.
But I started off doing stand-up comedy actually when I started my career.
In the States or in England?
No, in South Africa actually.
Really?
So, but then I was only considered for funny stuff, and I wanted to do like some serious theater, and so I had to actively stop auditioning for comedy, and then to kind of like shift their perception. But then once I arrived in LA, it was very much like, oh, okay, you are in the sort of the foreign bag of
tense foreign
tense character, yeah. So yeah, But I enjoy both. But when I haven't been doing one of them for a period of time, then I
Miss
really miss
the other
that. So right now I'm missing on camera. Yeah.
Before, because we're going to play a game in a second, but before we do that, because I'm going to forget if I don't ask you now, why is it that like those with a British or South African, Australian accent have an easier time to put on a North American, Canadian accent than North Americans putting on a British accent? Is that so? It feels like that to me. I don't know.
Maybe, I mean, I got a couple of theories. I don't think that's always true, for one thing. But I do hear you. I think I don't necessarily think that it's easier for them, but I think there's a tendency for actors from Europe and elsewhere to go a traditional like drama school or actor training route. You know, so then they have theatre training and they do voice training and this sort of thingy. So that's what I had. Whereas most American actors who work on camera they haven't been to acting school. Not to diss them, but they just don't have the same formal training. There's on-camera classes in LA and stuff, but there is sort of largely the American sort of screen acting system is sort of do nothing. You know, it's subtle and it's very real and whatnot, but there isn't. They haven't gone through the same thing where they would have exposure to and then develop that muscle, if you will. So that's my theory. Is that like, I'm used to because I grew up doing that stuff, and they're not convinced. But it's all right. We'll catch you tomorrow, guys. Okay. Auf Wiedersehen. But so I think there's that maybe, but I also think that with the American, like the sort of standard American accent, where it's like layering something on top of if you're British, if you speak English as a first language, European speaker, I think it is something you could layer on top, whereas for an American, they have to take something away with the R's maybe in order to sound more British or RP, you know, like receive pronunciation and very proper speak. So I think it's a little bit harder maybe rhythmically to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting that you say that, because I would until just now I would have thought the opposite, because like I'm currently doing rehearsals for a production where I have to play a Brit, and for me it's like I have to add something on top of my voice somehow. But maybe you're right. No, you're taking R's off.
I mean,
you're changing
vowels.
vowels.
I think regardless of whether it's not your native accent, you know, it is still
because you did that seamlessly just now.
Yeah, but that's because I've been doing it for a long time, I think, you know. But it is definitely a layer, and I think what often gives away the accent is when people get emotional.
Yeah.
And I've definitely seen Brits, you know, when they're playing Americans, and they're like, but I didn't want to go there, you know, and then suddenly like,
that's not
you
right.
know. But I mean, there's some people who, you know, there was who's his name, Anthony LaPaglia, who was in one of these like long TV series. He's Australian, and I had no idea.
Really?
And I and I sort of pride myself on going like, oh, I know them.
Oh, yeah,
or
he's
hearing
from New
movements
York,
or something, you know. Yeah, so I mean, there's some people who surprise you, you know. But yeah.
Well, who's Brad Dourif? He was
so good,
right?
One of I Love a Man in Uniform. Have you seen that?
No, I have not.
Oh my gosh, I think that's him. Is that him? But I know it's him from like Wormwood or whatever his name is.
Correct. Yeah.
Or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, what a great character actor.
Yeah, Grimmer Wormtuck, and that just made me think of that because I had the chance to talk to Bernard.
Is he Canadian or what?
I don't know if he's Canadian, but he's North American. I know that. And the whole thing was that like he had done such a good job that Bernard had thought he was like messing around when he went to his original North American accent. He was like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "No, this is how I talk." No, shut up.
No, I mean, and that used to be back in the day when actors used to go into casting offices to audition, because like now it's all remote, and it's not because of COVID. It's partly because of COVID because they gave up their
it's just
expensive things. It's much easier, yeah. But I would love going in, and if the part was American, I would go in and be American from when I enter the thing, because otherwise, I'm going to give them something in their head where they're like, wait a minute, you sound a little bit. So then I would do the thing, and they go, oh great, and they'd have like a little chat after or whatever, and then I would just drop into my British accent. I think it could be in the what? And then it was like a fun sort of like trick, sort of thing to do, but you don't have that anymore. So.
That's right. So before the public gets a chance to ask questions, we are going to play 2 truths and a lie. And the reason I asked you about this 3 hours ago was so that you could prepare.
Right. And I did not prepare, but I'll come up with something. I was more focused on feeding myself after.
Yeah, that's true. Fair enough.
After the cold
axe throwing tournament, where we came in 3rd place. No, we came in 4th place.
We were. It was fun though. It was fun.
We weren't last. High five. We weren't last.
There we go.
We weren't last.
We got a couple in. Yeah. So 2 truths and 2 lies and 1 truth. Two truths and 1 lie.
Yep.
2 truths and 1 lie. Okay.
And this is going to be difficult because I don't know you at all. Lock it in. Just decide. I see that mischievous smile. Is it mischievous or mischievous?
Mischievous. A lot of people say mischievous, but there's no second eye.
No, there's not.
But, damn it, you're not helping me. Okay, here we have, so I'll give you 3.
Okay.
I have run a marathon.
Okay.
I was born near the Queen, and I love beetroot.
Wow. Run a marathon, born near the Queen, love beetroot. That's weird. Who loves beetroot? Like, are you Russian? Do you have Russian roots?
Нет. Немного.
Okay. Well, okay. Can I ask where you were born?
No.
God damn. Because you're fit. I would believe that you have run a marathon. So I believe you have run a marathon. I don't think you were born near the Queen. I do think you love beetroot. So 2 truths are marathon beetroot. The lie is that you were born near the Queen.
Beetroot is a lie. Your instinct was correct. Different years though, with both.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So, public, now is your chance to ask.
You look fabulous.
Oh, schon. She does look good. I'm always impressed by all of the costumes in these places. I love it.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for the nice interview. My question would be, if you have to audition for a role as a synchron speaker, what is a trick that you do to stand out in the crowd of all the applicants?
If I have to audition for a role as a, and then I lost you.
Voiceover.
As a
Oh, a voiceover.
A voiceover.
Oh, okay. Man, that's a good question, because it's also like auditions now. You're just recording at home and emailing the file, so you don't get any feedback. I don't know if I have a great answer for you, to be honest. Maybe this. I used to be quite conservative with my choices. So if, let's say, let's say the script. Let's say the script is, come on down to the Proud Nerd Winter Festival. It's going to be incredible. And my tendency in years past would have been just to like, oh, okay, so like, come on down to the Proud Nerd Winter Festival. It's gonna be incredible. But if you have a stronger choice, lead with that one. Even if you're doing 2 takes in a row, because you know they're gonna probably listen to 2 takes if they like, you know, the quality in your voice. More than 2 takes, I don't think they're gonna listen, to be honest. But lead with your stronger choice, your bigger choice, your bolder choice. You know. So if you have another like, come on down to the Proud Nerd Winter Festival. You know, I mean, whatever. But I would say, yeah, go with your strong choice first. And if you only have 1 take, perhaps do that. You know, because there will be 1,000 other people who are doing, oh, okay, you know, that sort of standard read that you're thinking. So do something that makes you a little bit more unique. You know, as long as it's still, you know, within the parameters. But yeah, I think I would probably say that, you know, because I feel like I've seen maybe more success where I've tried to bring more of myself. You know, if you're bringing more of you know, your unique something that maybe you can speak to that copy, if it's a vocal quality or accent or something. You know, even if it doesn't specify that. You know, just a little quality or something. Yeah.
Good question, thank you. In the back.
First, thanks for your coming. My first question was on the table for your upcoming role on Amazon, military. But my second question is, which role was the hardest role for you?
Ah, okay.
What was the first question?
So
again?
the first question, I can elucidate.
Yeah.
So the first question, I mentioned autograph. She said, "Have you got something coming out?" And I said, "I'm in a movie that's going to be on Amazon called G20."
Okay.
And Viola Davis plays the president, and she's at the G20 conference, vice president of the United States, and then there's a whole sort of kidnap type thing, and I play in that. I don't kidnap her though, so I'm actually not the villain, surprisingly enough. But the second question, what's been the hardest role for me? I don't. I mean, I've kind of loved most of the stuff that I've done and haven't thought of it really as being hard. I mean, certainly there's nothing hard about an actor playing roles, quite honestly, I don't think. I think there's a lot of sort of actors being indulgent about this was a really heavy role and I had to live with it. It's like you don't have to live with it. Obviously there's some dark material which, you know, people can choose to take or not take. But I think, you know, once, you know, it's like cut, you know, and you know, it's a wrap for the end of the day. It's like, go home, don't take it with you, you know. It's this like there's a sort of I'm going off
No, it's okay.
track here, but there's this method acting myth where, you know, if you're committed to a role, that means, you know, you are that character the whole time. It's like, and that's not true, because if I'm playing Abraham Lincoln, you know, then I would be, you know, wandering off, you know, and it's like, no, I'm told where to stand, what the scene is about, I'm given lines to say, you know, it's and then when they tell me to stop talking, cut, then it's over. It is make-believe, you know, so it's a very arrogant, indulgent thing, I think, when actors do this thing. That's not your question, I know, but I had the need to say that.
Nice dodge. That was a good dodge.
The hardest thing, I mean, I guess Deucalion was interesting, seeing as we're talking about that, and that's maybe why some people have come to see me, but because I'm playing a blind man in this thing, and I really didn't want it to feel like a parody or a caricature, you know, and I wanted him to be very, very elegant. So I think that was probably, it was challenging in the sense I didn't have a lot of prep time. I think from when I was like called back and then when I booked the job, it was maybe, I it wasn't long at all, maybe 10 days, 2 weeks at most before I started working. So it wasn't like I had, you know, weeks of preparation to go and study blind people, you know, or work closely with somebody. But I tried to be sort of sensitive to people who are visually impaired, you know, and also, I mean, I was also helped by the writing of the character, where he was quite eloquent, smartly written. But I think the biggest challenge for me is actually less specific roles and more like long night shoots, because they just like wear you down, and stuff like what's called block shooting, and that's when say we have like a bunch of scenes and it's you guys are here and I'm here, it doesn't matter how many of us there are, we're all actors, let's say, but for purposes of making our day and all the shots we have to get, they'll shoot everything with the cameras going in this direction and then eventually turn the camera around, because it takes like an hour for them to do that and set up and then shoot my coverage. And so sometimes what will happen, if you don't have a lot of budget on a movie or a TV show, is they'll block shoot everything going in this direction. So that means, can you imagine imagine all the dialogue, all the conversations you've had today, and then we're filming your part, and then at like 6 o'clock tonight, they're gonna move the cameras around, and then you have to remember exactly what you did earlier in the day, and do it all again, because now the camera's on me, sort of thing, you know? So that I find challenging, because I'm like, oh my gosh, what choices did I make earlier, you know? And then sometimes, like Teen Wolf is a good example, they did so well on the budget that they had, they were phenomenal. But I remember specifically stuff where I was working with the other actors, and then they had to take them away after we'd finished filming them in that scene to go do something else on another stage, another set. And then they got my coverage, which was like my part of the conversation, and then there was just somebody reading their lines, you know, just next to the camera, you know. That's challenging, because you're trying to remember the performance that the actor brought, but someone just going like, hey, so Deucalion, why are you here? You know, so I don't know if I made any sense, but
I understood it.
but thank you for the questions.
Thank you for the question. Very good. Gideon, thank you for taking the time to chat with us today.
That's all we have time for, folks. But listen, I'm going to be here all weekend, and
Yes, you are.
feel free to ask me some more questions.
Yes, sir. And we'll see each other tomorrow on stage, and we'll also see each other
At the karaoke, for sure.
At the
Now I discover
karaoke,
there's karaoke.
definitely.
I'm pointing at the screen which just says Proud Nerd, but
Yeah. And then,
what time is karaoke?
what time is karaoke?
What time is karaoke?
Wie viel Uhr? Nee, Karaoke.
Karaoke, Sekunde.
7:50. 7:50. Okay.
7:15.
Wunderbar.
Karaoke.
Well, we'll see you.
We'll see you then.
That sounds like fun. Okay, cool.
Gideon Emery,
Okay.
ladies and gentlemen. Bleib stehen, kommt bald unser Synchronsprecher-Workshop.